Chapter 99. In the end, Dun Dun did not succeed. Originally, Ling Xiaoqi had begun to hesitate whether to bring it along. Su Yiyan also expressed that she did not want this traitorous dog. Victory was in sight, but they did not expect a Hua Hua to appear out of nowhere and beat Dun Dun again, almost making it bald on the other side of its head. In the end, it even kicked it out of Ling Xiaoqi's arms, patted its butt, and left with its owner, not taking a single strand of dog hair with it. Dun Dun did not succeed in the scam and was almost beaten into a bald dog by its future wife. The whole dog was dispirited. It lay on the ground and looked at the back of the Hua Hua with tears in its eyes. Those who did not know would think that it was going to part ways with the other party forever. Su Yiyan was angry and amused at the same time. After they left, she immediately pulled up an emoji of throwing a dog in front of Dun Dun. Little ingrate, if you are so useless, I don't want you anymore. Just like this, I will throw you out. Dun Dun looked at the dog that was as meaty as it was thrown into the river by its owner. There was an emoji of Daddy doesn't want you anymore next to it. Its face was cold, and it was not threatened at all. Su Yiyan was angry, but Hu Chenhuan was very calm. She even taught it, if you like her, continue to chase her until she also likes you. If you are like this after just a little setback, you might as well give up now. Woof woof woof. Hu Chenhuan's words seemed to irritate Dun Dun. It suddenly raised its head and barked at Hu Chenhuan a few times. Hu Chenhuan's expression did not change. She said in a low voice, "What's the use of barking at me? Am I wrong? Woof woof woof, since you don't want to give up, then stay here and find a way to make her like you. Woof woof woof, you still have to ask me. Can't you use your brain? You are the one who wants to chase her, not me. Woof woof woof, I don't need it. We're in love with each other, unlike you. It's unrequited love. Hee hee. Su Yiyan. Hey, how are you two communicating across species? What happened to the two of you when I wasn't around these past few days? But no matter what, after Hu Chenhuan and Dun Dun's conversation, Dun Dun finally recovered. He even leaned against the car window and stared at the bald part of his head sadly, which made Gu Xiaoyang's eyelids twitch. This dog was indeed a demon. Hu Chenhuan had just finished lecturing Dun Dun when a faint sigh came from beside her. You're so clear and logical when it comes to educating others, but why are you backing down when it's your turn? Hu Chenhuan's body trembled. She subconsciously clenched her fists and said hoarsely, I won't. What? What you just said won't happen in the future. He now wished he could turn Su Yiyan into Thumbelina and hold her in his hands 24 hours a day. How could he watch someone who belonged to him be taken away by someone else like before? Su Yiyan took a few seconds to understand the meaning of Hu Chenhuan's words. Her eyes lit up, and she responded with great joy, okay. After receiving Ling Xiaoqi, Su Yiyan originally planned to accompany Hu Chenhuan for a while before going home. Unfortunately, the plan could not keep up with the changes. Before she had time to go home with Hu Chenhuan, her eldest brother called. Chapter 100. Su Yiyan was dumbfounded when she received the news. She immediately rejected Hu Chenhuan's offer to send her home and hurried back alone. What a joke. Her grandfather already had a lot of opinions about this marriage. If she allowed them to meet without any preparation, as the middleman, she was afraid that she would explode on the spot. Su Yiyan hurried back home. The first thing she saw was the stern-looking old man sitting in the middle of her living room. Su Yiyan's eyes immediately reddened. Without thinking, she rushed over and hugged her grandfather as she cried. Before old Master Qing came, he had already planned to teach this lawless and mischievous granddaughter a lesson. He wanted her to know that she shouldn't joke about her lifelong happiness like this. However, no matter how much he had prepared himself, when he saw his precious granddaughter's tears, he threw them out of his mind. All that was left was his heartache and anxiety for her. Why are you crying? Did that little brat from the family bully you? Tell Grandpa, and Grandpa will take you to settle the score with them. When Su Yiyan heard old Master Cheng's words, her nose became even more sour. She hugged old Master Cheng's hand tightly and choked out, "No, he's very good to me. He didn't bully me." Old Master Cheng's face was full of disbelief. "If he didn't bully you, then why are you crying like this? Don't be afraid. Grandpa is here. Grandpa is here. Tell Grandpa, and Grandpa will help you." "I really didn't. I just missed Grandpa too much. Now that I suddenly saw you, I couldn't help it, missed me." Old Master Cheng was caught off guard by this sudden sugar-coated bullet. He stared at Su Yiyan for a long time. After making sure that she really didn't suffer any grievances, he snorted coldly and said angrily, "You missed me, but you didn't come back to see me. You didn't even tell me before you made the decision to change your marriage partner. From what I see, you don't even care about your grandfather at all." When Su Yiyan heard this, she hurriedly said, "How could I not care about Grandpa? It was just too sudden." That's right, that's right. Not to mention you, Dad, even the few of us who were there at that time were a little confused." When old Master Cheng heard his daughter's words, he immediately changed the topic and scolded, "Why are you in a daze? Yan Yan is young and immature, but you adults are also immature. Just let her do whatever she wants." Yes. It's our fault. We didn't stop her and let her do whatever she wanted. It's all our fault, all our fault. Judging from your tone, you think I've wronged you. Yan Yan used to be so obedient when he was with me. But this time, such a big thing happened. It must be because you adults failed to live up to expectations and caused trouble for her. Who else can I blame if not you? Qing Shuqin. Sure enough, after having a granddaughter, his daughter had fallen out of favor. She really didn't want to take the blame for this. "Grandpa, don't blame my parents. I acted on my own accord. That day, something happened in the family and Mom and Dad were so angry that they lost their minds. They were so angry that they lost their minds, and so did you. In a fit of pique, you chose that one. Grandpa." Su Yiyan suddenly raised her voice and interrupted him. "I don't like people mentioning that word. I know Grandpa has some prejudice against him because of me, but I hope Grandpa can love the house and its crow. Can you give him some respect?" Chapter 101. You haven't even interacted with him before, so how would you know? Su Yiyan met old Master Cheng's eyes and said seriously, "Compared to a healthy man who doesn't love me and only sees me as an accessory, I want a life partner who loves me, respects me, and puts me first in everything." Old Master Cheng felt that her words made sense, so he immediately reacted. "Why do you have to choose between the two of them? There are so many good men in this world. I don't believe that my granddaughter, who is so outstanding, can't find a healthy man who meets your requirements. There are so many good men in this world, but no one will treat me better than him. I only want him, and I don't want anyone else." Old Master Cheng was completely speechless. He wanted to get angry, but when he met the eyes that were almost identical to his late wife's, the anger in his belly seemed to have been splashed with a bucket of cold water. With a snort, it was extinguished. "Are you serious?" "Yes." Su Yiyan didn't back down. "I'm very serious, so serious that I can't be more serious." He couldn't hit her, but he couldn't bear to scold her. Old Master Cheng held it in for a long time, then turned his face away unhappily. Humph. When Su Yiyan saw his reaction, she immediately knew that she had passed most of his test. She quickly hugged his arm and said coquettishly, "Also, Grandpa, if you think about it this way, it's not completely bad for him. At least he can't beat me. If he really makes me angry, I can beat him down by myself. There's no need for you to stand up for me, is there? Humph, if he can't beat you, he naturally can't beat others. If he can't protect you, what's there to be proud of? He can't protect me, but I can protect him. If he can't beat me, then it's fine as long as I can, right? With my current skills, there shouldn't be many people who can beat me, right? Old Master Ching was speechless. What she said made sense, and he couldn't refute it. Old Master Ching, who was completely choked, snorted coldly. He stood up with the help of his walking stick and shouted at Su Yuxuan to take him to his room, completely ignoring Su Yiyan. As soon as the old man left, the tense atmosphere in the hall finally eased. Qin Shuiru, who was Su Yiyan's aunt, heaved a sigh of relief. Only then was she able to speak to Su Yiyan for the first time. I'm afraid that you're the only one in our family who dares to speak to the old master like that. Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh when she heard that. Grandpa only looks strict, but his heart is still very soft. Qin Shuiru smiled and declined to comment. The old man was famous for his strictness, whether it was in their generation or the generation below. It was only in front of Su Yiyan that he would temporarily put away his coldness and reveal the last bit of softness in his heart. Even Qing Shuqin, who was the most favored in the past, had to take a back seat in front of his granddaughter. This was due to the fact that Su Yiyan's temperament was very similar to the old man's when he was young. It was also due to the fact that Su Yiyan's face was very similar to her grandmother who passed away early. Qin Shuiru wasn't dissatisfied with this. She and her husband had been childless for so many years, and she had long regarded the two children of the Su family, especially the youngest, Su Yiyan, as her own children. If their children could gain the favor of their elders, they would naturally be happy as well. When she thought of this, a trace of sadness flashed across Qin Shuiru's eyes. Chapter 102. As expected, Qin Shuiru's attention was diverted. She smiled faintly and said, "The old man is in a hurry to come over. There are still many things to do at home, so your uncle stayed behind first. He will come over in 2 days after arranging the follow-up matters." In 2 days. Su Yiyan pondered for a moment and suddenly asked, "Auntie, is your anemia better? The weather has been cold recently. Do your hands and feet often feel cold? Did you bring more clothes this time? If not, I'll ask my mom to prepare more for you later. Don't catch a cold." Qing Shuqin did not suspect anything and agreed, "Yes, yes, yes." Yan Yan is still the most thoughtful. The weather has been quite cold these few days. You must not have brought many clothes since you came early. I'll ask someone to send more thick clothes over later. If you need anything else, let me know. We're all family, so don't stand on ceremony. Qin Shuiru was stunned when she heard Su Yiyan's words. She was a little surprised that Su Yiyan knew that she had been anemic recently. Her anemia started a month ago. At first, she only felt dizzy and could not lift her spirits to do anything. Later, not only did it turn into dizziness, but it was also accompanied by abdominal pain for no reason. She could not find anything even when she checked with the detector. Originally, she was depressed because she wanted to have a child. Her body was always so unwell, and her appetite was not very good. In less than half a month, her weight dropped by almost 5 kilograms. Her husband was scared out of his wits, so he thought of sending his wife out for a walk to adjust her mood. After Qin Shuiru recovered from her surprise, she spontaneously found an excuse for Su Yiyan, thinking that her husband told her. She smiled and said, "I've been a little anemic recently. Maybe it's because I'm tired from running around with your uncle. It's hard for you to think about it. I'm fine, don't worry." Qin Shuiru's words indirectly confirmed Su Yiyan's guess. She looked at her remaining favorability points in advance and sighed in relief. It's rare for Grandpa and Aunt to come here. Tonight, let me personally cook dinner to welcome you. Qin Shuiru was shocked. Yan Yan can cook. Isn't that right? When Qing Shuqin heard that Su Yiyan was going to cook for them personally, he said, I don't know when this child learned these strange things, and she even hid them from us. If we hadn't seen her tinkering in the kitchen alone some time ago, we wouldn't have known. But fortunately, the food she cooks is not bad. It's just that she doesn't cook for us often. We've only eaten it once before. Tonight, thanks to you guys, we can at least try her cooking again. Qing Shuqin spoke in a plaintive tone, but Qin Shuiru thought that she was giving herself a heads up. She secretly decided that no matter how Su Yiyan's dishes tasted, she would pretend to like them very much. No matter what, she couldn't let down the child's good intentions. Su Yiyan did not know what Qin Shuiru was thinking. He made a preview 2 hours in advance and posted the main content of today's live broadcast on the top of the live broadcast room. Su Yiyan had announced in her live broadcast the day before that the next live broadcast would not be scheduled, but once it was confirmed, it would be posted in the live broadcast room. At this time, there were still many viewers waiting in the live broadcast room regularly, waiting for her announcement. This time, the live broadcast preview really appeared, and they took a look at the content of the preview. Many people were stunned and went crazy. Chapter 103. At this time, the composition of Su Yiyan's fans was a bit complicated. There were gourmet fans, health fans, some patient fans who were recommended by their friends, and some anti-fans who saw her quickly become popular. There were also many local tycoons in the live broadcast room who were anti-fans. As soon as Su Yiyan's preview came out, the health fans and patient fans excitedly rushed to spread the news. The gourmet fans who were attracted by the spicy boiled fish and spicy crayfish were at a loss. Those jealous anti-fans seemed to have finally found Su Yiyan's weakness and began to chase after those excited true fans to mock and ridicule them. They said that Su Yiyan's live broadcast preview was sensationalism and was deliberately trying to attract people's attention. Su Yiyan was busy finalizing tonight's menu. She didn't have the energy to pay attention to those crazy people on the internet. Since the two of them arrived early, Su Yiyan didn't make much preparation in advance. She could only try to find medicinal cuisine recipes suitable for their physiques from some of the Chinese herbs she already had. Fortunately, when Qing Shuqin talked to her about Qin Shuiru, Su Yiyan had already consciously prepared the Chinese herbs suitable for her. Now, she just collected the first batch that matured, which was enough to come in handy. When Su Yiyan prepared the herbs and ingredients and opened the live broadcast room, she found that the audience in the live broadcast room had risen by another wave, and it was still increasing. In just a moment, it had reached 500,000. This figure had already surpassed the scope of a newcomer streamer on Munchkin.net. It could be considered a slightly famous and capable streamer. Su Yiyan blinked and said in a daze and surprise, "What happened? Did someone enter the wrong live broadcast room?" Hearing Su Yiyan's words, many of the audience in the live broadcast room turned on ha-ha-ha mode. Su Yiyan searched for a long time before she finally found a useful reply from the screen full of ha-ha-ha. It turned out that the spicy boiled fish and spicy crayfish that she made before were pushed to the public platform by Xiaoyuning Shi and others not long after she went offline. Although the recording screen was not as convenient as the live broadcast, where one could turn on the taste and smell simulator to taste it on the spot, the bright red dishes looked particularly appetizing. Coupled with the flattery from the live audience who had participated in the live broadcast, many people who had not watched the live broadcast could not help but drool at the recording screen. As soon as they heard that Su Yiyan had started a live broadcast, they immediately rushed over in groups. They were afraid that they would miss out on the delicacies that had been praised to the heavens. After figuring out the ins and outs of the matter, Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief. Yan Yan glanced at the upper right corner, where the number of viewers had increased by nearly 100,000 in just a few minutes. His eyes flashed, and he went straight to the point. Hello, new viewers and old viewers who have watched my live streams. Welcome to Yen Yen's Little Kitchen. I'm your host, Yen Yen. There are elderly people at home today, so I have to make some dishes suitable for them. Old man. Wasn't it supposed to be a medicinal cuisine that could increase a woman's fertility? How did he become an old man? Although some of the audience members were doubtful, their words were still considered mild. However, the anti-fans were not so polite. They did not care how Su Yiyan would explain later and started to attack him in a sarcastic manner. Chapter 104. The anti-fans' words not only ridiculed Su Yiyan, but also stabbed the hearts of the female audience who loved children but could not conceive due to various physical reasons. They were holding on to a slim chance of survival and had entered the show with a knife in their hearts. Su Yiyan's face sank. She had been broadcasting for a few days, and occasionally saw one or two comments questioning her. However, it was the first time she had seen such harsh words. Su Yiyan was really angry this time. She said coldly, "Admin, ban." In fact, she didn't need to say anything. Hua Qinhuan had already started to investigate the IP ban. However, after she said that, there were immediately many comments scolding her for her bad temper and acting like a big shot. Looking at the rows of comments with the same tone, it was obvious that there was a mastermind behind the scenes. Unfortunately, these people didn't even have the chance to start the momentum before they were all banned by the admin. Su Yiyan looked at the screen that suddenly became much quieter, and her face became slightly better. I know that most of the viewers who came to watch my broadcast are either here to watch the show or to try their luck with a doubtful heart. In this regard, I can only say that you can watch the show or not believe me. However, this is my broadcast, and I welcome people who like me. As for those who don't like me and can't stand me, please consciously leave. Of course, I don't care if you want to stay and torture yourself. However, please shut your stinky mouth and don't say anything that makes me and my viewers uncomfortable. Otherwise, if you mess with me, I'll mess with you. I don't lack money, fame, or connections. Before you touch me, you should consider whether your ability and background can bear the consequences of my anger. I'll say the ugly words first. I'm a very hard-hearted person. Even if you're half dead and kneeling to beg me to let you go, I won't be soft-hearted and forgive you. Su Yiyan's words not only scared the trolls who were still restless after their accounts were banned, but also scared many viewers in the broadcast. A portion of the audience felt that Su Yiyan's words were too harsh and chose to leave. However, the majority of the audience still chose to stay. Su Yiyan didn't care about what these people thought. She wasn't someone who would let herself be wronged. If she couldn't stand it, she would fight back. She didn't start this live stream for fame or profit. She just wanted to accumulate a little bit of favorability. As for those who were prejudiced against her, how could she expect to gain favorability from them? Those who had a good impression of her and were grateful to her, such as the audience from her first live stream, would do their best to help her. As for these people who hadn't helped her at all and even wanted to mess with her, it was already good enough that she didn't get back at them. Did they expect her to greet them with a smile? She didn't owe them anything. If there's nothing else, let's return to the main topic. Su Yiyan's voice successfully drew the attention of the remaining viewers, and the comments on the screen instantly became denser. Su Yiyan looked at the much more harmonious bullet screen, and the corners of her lips curled up again. She continued the words that she didn't finish before. There's an elderly at home today, so I'm preparing some dishes that are suitable for the elderly stomach. Of course, there are also one or two soups and desserts that are more nourishing for girls. Chapter 105. As Su Yiyan spoke, he suddenly thought of something and said meaningfully, as usual, the viewers who scolded the host in my live broadcast room will not participate in the lucky draw. At that time, the audience did not know that the rules set by Hu Chenhuan would make those who had scolded Su Yiyan break down. As long as one was human, they would not be able to escape from birth, old age, illness, and death. No one could guarantee whether their illness would come first or tomorrow. This was also the reason why no one dared to offend a doctor, no matter how rich or powerful they were. You could not guarantee that you would fall into his hands one day. By then, whether he saved you or not would be a matter of life and death. The remaining viewers did not think too much about it. They only knew that after the keyboard warriors who caused trouble were kicked out, their chances would be greater. This was really exciting news. However, when they looked up and saw that the number of viewers was still increasing, they felt as if they had been splashed with a bucket of cold water. It did not seem to increase by much. Considering that stewing soup would take more time, Su Yiyan took out 2 casseroles for stewing soup first. Today, we are going to stew 2 soups. The first soup is the one that you guys are more concerned about. It is abalone and ginseng soup that has a certain effect on premature ovarian failure in girls. As soon as Su Yiyan finished speaking, a lot of comments appeared on the screen asking, "What is premature ovarian failure?" Premature ovarian failure. It literally means that the ovaries decline early. The specific symptoms are abnormal menstrual cycle and reduced menstrual volume. Simply put, it is early amenorrhea or even menopause. Unable to ovulate normally, naturally, there is no way to conceive a child. As Su Yiyan spoke, he fished out a few fat and big abalones and cleaned them neatly. As soon as these abalones appeared, the audience in the live broadcast room felt the power of money. F***CK, I've seen this before. I saw it from afar when I accompanied the boss on a business trip. It is said that it is the signature dish of a high-class restaurant. There are only 5 servings a day, and the ingredients alone are worth at least 6 digits. Moreover, there was only 1 small abalone in the plate at that time. It was definitely not as big as this one. Actually, I wanted to say this before. Most of the ingredients used in the live broadcast room look better than those sold in the market. Everyone should know how expensive natural ingredients are on the market. To be able to buy such high-quality ingredients, the price, I noticed it during the last live stream. Let's not talk about other natural ingredients. Let's talk about seafood. Although it tasted bad if it wasn't processed properly, the market price was really high. The big grass carp and crayfish that the streamer used in the last live broadcast, the poor me hugged my cheap nutrient solution tightly. To be able to casually take out so many expensive ingredients for a live broadcast, what the streamer said just now might not be a bluff. Her family might really have a mine and not be short of money. When Su Yiyan finished processing the abalones, he saw these comments as soon as he looked up. Even through the screen, she could feel that these people were looking at the abalone in her hand like it was a piece of gold. Su Yiyan was amused by her own idea. She put the washed abalone and the lean meat into the clay pot, and then added the wolfberries. Finally, he took out a huge ginseng that he had spent a huge sum of money to exchange for. Chapter 106. What's this? It looks white and plump, like a radish, but it has whiskers. Radishes don't seem to have whiskers. You're wrong. Radishes actually have whiskers, but they're removed after being pulled out. Don't ask me how I know. I helped a friend pull out radishes a few years ago. You're making up stories. So, this is a radish. Radish stewed with abalone. I feel like something's wrong. Su Yiyan's mouth twitched when he saw that the audience in the live stream had almost completely identified the thing in his hand as a radish. He took a deep breath and said, "This isn't a radish, it's ginseng." Ginseng is a very useful Chinese herb. Every part of its body can be used as medicine, and the medicinal effects are different. Today, we need to use this part of its meat. Su Yiyan pointed at the round white meat that was mistaken for a radish. Because ginseng has a strong medicinal effect, it has a bitter taste. Usually, only a little bit will do. Su Yiyan put the huge ginseng aside as he spoke. He took out the slices of ginseng that he had cut earlier and put them into the pot. Alright, let's just let it stew for now. Next, we'll make the second soup, lotus seed and date stewed duck soup. Those who watched my live stream before should know what I'm talking about. Those who don't know, go back and watch the recorded broadcast. Now, let's talk about the lotus seeds. Su Yiyan poured out a bowl of fresh and white lotus seeds. He broke them open and took out the lotus core as he said, "These are lotus seeds." They were peeled from the lotus seed pod, and they smell very fragrant. Lotus seeds are good for qi and have the effect of stabilizing the spirit and calming the mind. Eating them will not only nourish the spleen and stomach, but also reduce internal heat and help sleep. Old people don't get enough sleep, so eating them is very useful for sleep. But you have to take note that there's a heart in the middle of the lotus seed, which is this small green strip. This heart is bitter. Friends who seek a good texture can peel it off. Don't throw it away after you peel it off. Dry it and use it to make tea to reduce internal heat. After saying so much, we don't even know where to buy this stuff, let alone eat it. You found a point. I just went to the shopping site to search for ginseng and lotus seeds, but there's nothing. It's not just ginseng and lotus seeds. The red dates, seahorses, and a series of so-called medicinal herbs that the host used before are not sold on the internet QAQ. That's right. If you have the guts to introduce them, then tell us where to buy them. Woof, cry out loud. Su Yiyan was stunned when he saw these complaints. He stopped what he was doing and muttered to himself. Just when the audience in the live stream thought that she had finally been persuaded and was ready to announce the source of these medicinal herbs and advertise for the audience to buy them, Lin Yichin suddenly changed her mind. That slender and fair hand suddenly grabbed a lotus seed that had lost its core and moved upwards, leaving the range of the live broadcast room. Then, the host's soft chewing sounds and sighs of enjoyment could be heard. It's sweet and refreshing. It's quite delicious. The audience. Without waiting for the audience to come back to their senses, Su Yiyan's hand once again reached for the plate of lotus seeds. After eating a few of them, his evil claws reached for the bowl of jujubes next to him. Only then did the audience realize that this unscrupulous streamer was actually eating the ingredients in front of them. Chapter 107. However, after Su Yiyan's ruckus, the viewers in the live stream finally realized that the tender lotus seeds and red dates could be eaten raw. The crowd no longer cared about the issue of the purchase of the ingredients. They scrambled to try the two ingredients. Oh, these red dates taste sweet. It's great as a snack. I can't stop eating them one by one. I prefer this white lotus seed. It's especially refreshing. It's not greasy at all. Some people were even curious and secretly tasted the leftover ginseng slices. This ginseng is really bitter. I almost spat it out when I first ate it. However, after a while, I realized that the bitterness gradually disappeared and became a little sweet. It's a very special taste. Suddenly, the viewers changed the topic and began to discuss the taste of the ingredients and their own tastes. They had temporarily forgotten their previous doubts. Su Yiyan saw that their attention had been diverted, so she did not do something as infuriating as eating the ingredients. She put all the ingredients into the pot, added some water, and started to cook. At the beginning of the live stream, Su Yiyan said that there were elderly people in the house, so they should be prioritized when cooking. Su Yiyen studied for a long time and finally decided on 4 dishes and a porridge. They were garlic roasted eel, tomato fried cauliflower, celery braised tofu, orange peel beef, and millet pumpkin porridge. Although she did not use the Chinese herbs she had on hand, garlic, eel, tomatoes, celery, tofu, and beef were more suitable for the elderly stomach and could be eaten more. The viewers in the live stream were very happy to see Su Yiyen cook so many dishes at once. Most importantly, they could find the ingredients for these dishes. Even if they could not get their hands on them in the lottery, they could buy them and try them out at home. The only thing that was a little lost was the orange peel beef. There were oranges in this era, but most people's impression of oranges was very simple. They felt that it was a fruit. The flesh of the fruit could be eaten, but the outer skin was naturally useless and needed to be thrown away. Orange peel is the finished product of the outer skin of the orange after being dried. It's sweet and sour with a bit of bitterness. It's a good choice to make tea or stew. It's appetizing and can help with digestion. As soon as Su Yiyen said that, the audience immediately went wild with joy. So, orange peels can be eaten? I feel like I've missed out on 100 million. Yes, yes, yes. Previously, when I ate the oranges, I ate the meat and threw away the skin. Now that I think about it, my heart hurts. I don't care anymore. I'm going to buy a caddy of oranges now. I'll peel them and dry them. How can 1 caddy be enough? I'll go buy 3 caddies. I've already placed an order for 5 kilograms. It'll be here soon. Great. I'm in awe of the nouveau riche above. Buying 5 kilograms of tangerines is like buying 10 bottles of nutrient solution. I'm so envious and jealous. At this time, Su Yiyen still did not know that because of his words, he had indirectly increased the sales of oranges in the market. Not long after that, there was a strange phenomenon of a shortage of oranges in the market. Compared to the time-consuming process of stewing soup, stir-frying vegetables was much faster. By the time Su Yiyen finished cooking the other 4 dishes and the porridge, the first 2 types of soup were almost ready. Chapter 108. The audience, who had been mesmerized by the table full of hot dishes and had turned on the taste simulator to try the finished product without Su Yiyen's instructions, were quickly attracted by the transparent fungus in Su Yiyen's hand. Host, what's this? Why is it transparent? Can it be eaten? How can the host's food be inedible? This thing looks quite springy. It should taste good. Su Yiyen was amused by the group of foodies' tireless thirst for knowledge. This is tremella, a type of fungus. It's rich in protein, various amino acids, and minerals. Eating more of it can not only beautify and nourish one's skin, strengthen one's immune system, and prolong one's life. Beautifying and nourishing one's skin and prolong one's life were enough to capture the hearts of many girls and elders at home. Once people got older, they would find that no amount of money could fight against the invasion of time. At this time, health became a knot in many people's hearts. It made people subconsciously start to take care of their health, striving to live longer and suffer less from the pain of illness. Su Yiyen first soaked the tremella to remove the stalk, then boiled it for a while with milk. After it was cooked, he put it aside to cool it down. After that, he took out kiwis, cherry tomatoes, and other fruits and cut them into small pieces for later use. Seeing these fruits, the audience in the live broadcast room became jealous again, shedding tears of poverty. By the time the 2 pots of soup were ready, the milk was almost cold. When the fruit pieces were put in, the red and green colors were very beautiful, immediately hitting the hearts of many girls. This dessert looks really beautiful. I can't bear to eat it. I can't bear to eat it either. When I think of how many kinds of fruits are put in it, I feel like I'm eating RMB. My heart hurts. Since you all don't want to eat it, I'll be polite. Oh, it's soft and fragrant, and there are sweet fruits. To have such a small sweet soup after a meal, I'll be as happy as a fairy. In the face of delicious food, many people would say they didn't want it, but their bodies were honest. Especially since they were just testing the taste simulator. Even if they ate it, it wouldn't affect the food in the real world. They would be fools if they didn't take advantage of such a great opportunity. It was almost 6:00 when the tremella sweet soup was finished. In order to save time, Su Yiyen only prepared one round of lucky draws. 8 people would be chosen at once, and each person would be given a dish. Su Yiyen emphasized to the lucky audience who drew the abalone ginseng soup. This soup is more effective for patients with premature ovarian failure with both yin and yang. If there's someone around you who fits this condition, you can let her try it. Upon hearing Su's words, that person immediately asked curiously, "What's a patient with premature ovarian syndrome?" "It's just that I'm lacking in both qi and blood. It might be a little hard to understand if I put it this way. In short, it's people. A. Calm of them was calm." Hua Qinhuan's account was very lucky to draw a lotus seed and date duck soup. Su Yiyen knew that the soup was good for him, but when he thought of how this person deliberately pretended to be a cute girl in front of him, he couldn't help but want to tease him. Chapter 109. On the other end of the phone, Hua Qinhuan frowned when he saw the message. He immediately recalled the fear he felt when Su Yiyen's first live stream was dominated by the word old people. Mountain Yufu Su, only old people can drink it. Can't young people drink it? Su Yiyen could feel someone's sadness through the screen. He burst out laughing. "Yen, of course, you got the soup from the lucky draw. You can drink it however you like." "Goodly." JPG. Hua Qinhuan's expression became better. He waited for his spoils of war with satisfaction. Gu Xiaoyang stood behind him and watched their conversation. His eyebrows twitched. He coughed softly and asked tentatively, "Young master, are you always so cold when you talk to Miss Su?" "Cold?" Hua Qinhuan's eyes were slightly cold. He turned to look at him in confusion. Gu Xiaoyang's forehead was covered in cold sweat, but he still explained under great pressure, "Yes, you are now a viewer of Miss Su's live stream. You are someone who likes her. Isn't it too cold to talk to her in such a tone? Miss Su may feel that you are not easy to get along with. Over time, she may not take the initiative to message you like this." Hua Qinhuan's expression changed slightly. He frowned and said, "How can I make people feel that I am not cold? How do ordinary fans talk to the people they like?" Gu Xiaoyang pondered for a moment and gave a reasonable answer, "Flattery." "Flattery?" "Flattery means that they use all kinds of compliments to praise their idols." Hua Qinhuan's eyes lit up. He felt that this was a good idea. Where can I find flattery from these fans? What's so difficult about that? Let me find it. Gu Xiaoyang said and began to search for famous flattery on the internet. After a few minutes, he finally found a more reliable guide. Hua Qinhuan clicked on the post and was almost blinded by the flattery on the screen. "Beginner flattery, does such beauty really exist? I can lick this face for the rest of my life. Go, baby, you're the best. From today onwards, you're the prettiest kid on this street. Did you grow up eating cornetto? What kind of peerless cutie is this? Middle-level rainbow fart, there are sparks in your eyes." It ignited a fire in my heart, making me unable to forget you for the rest of my life. The moment I saw you, Cupid's arrow pierced my heart. From then on, I deeply realized that I was in love. 10,000 miles of mountains and rivers can't compare to your smile. Mountains and rivers can't compare to your tear. Advanced rainbow fart, Your eyes are as deep as the universe, with thousands of galaxies in them. Your nose is as tall and straight as a towering mountain, and the curves of the mountains are leisurely. Your lips are as bright as a midnight rose, graceful and passionate. You're so pure and unpretentious. You're straightforward and serious, yet you're so flirtatious and charming that people can't take their eyes off you. However, what I love most is your heart of gold, precious, soft, and untainted by dust. It starts with your appearance and is loyal to your character. Baby, fly bravely, XXX will always be with you. Hua Qinhuan was speechless. Was he going to talk to his wife in such an exaggerated tone in the future? Chapter 110. Su Yian still did not know that her fiancé had accidentally been led into a ditch and opened the door to a new world. After the live broadcast ended and the prizes were given out, she hurriedly brought the dishes out. Old Master Qing went upstairs to catch up on his sleep. When he woke up, he heard Qing Shuqin say that his precious granddaughter was going to cook for him personally tonight. He looked calm on the surface, but he was overjoyed on the inside. He went downstairs half an hour earlier to wait for the food. Qing Shuqin and the rest saw it but didn't expose him. They waited quietly with him. Not long after, the aroma of cooking dishes wafted from the kitchen. Mr. Su and the rest, who had tasted Su Yian's cooking earlier, had their eyes lit up. Their hands didn't stop moving, but their eyes and hearts had long been hooked by the tempting aroma. Qin Shuiru, who hadn't tasted Su Yian's cooking, wasn't as calm as them. She had thought that Su Yian was just being polite when she said that she wanted to cook personally. But now that she smelled the aroma, she couldn't sit still. The one cooking in the kitchen now is Yan Yan. Qing Shuqin was all smiles, and even his tone had a hint of smugness. Who else can it be if not her? When did Yan Yan learn to cook like this? When Jun Hao and I came here previously, we also ate your Aunt Li's cooking. It didn't seem to be as fragrant as her cooking. I'm not sure either. She said that she read books with Aunt Li and thought about it in her free time. She's grown up and has her own opinions. She doesn't like to tell us anything now. If it wasn't for the fact that she said that she wanted to help that person nourish his body, we wouldn't have known that she had studied this in private. Qing Shuqin's words had a subtle hint of jealousy. Qin Shuiru blinked and probed, that person. Are you referring to Yin Yan's fiancé? Is he not in good health? Other than his legs, he should be fine. It's just that he's busy with work and doesn't have a good appetite after staying up too much. This girl is so nervous that she stews soup and makes tonics. From the looks of it, their relationship is pretty good. At least Yan Yan really likes him. What about him? Are you good to Yan Yan? It looks good now, but I'm afraid that in the future. Let's talk about the future in the future. Since both of you are in love with each other, let's see how things go first. If he dares to mistreat Yan Yan after we get married, we won't agree to it either, right? You and brother-in-law are still young. No matter what, you can still protect Yan Yan for a few more decades. If not, there's still Jun Hao and I, and Yushuan. We won't let Yan Yan suffer. Qing Shuqin nodded. Only then did she feel a little relieved. While the two of them were talking, the aroma coming out of the kitchen became stronger. At first, Su Yushuan and the others could still pretend that nothing was wrong and sit in the living room to watch TV, read newspapers, and read books. Later, they really couldn't take it anymore and began to walk in circles impatiently. Old Master Cheng was a little annoyed by Su Yushuan's circling. He knocked his walking stick on the ground and scolded with a dark face, "How old are you? You're still so impatient. No wonder you still can't find a wife." Su can't find a wife, Yushuan. He was a single dog. Who had he offended? Qin Shuiru laughed and tried to smooth things over. Yushuan is hungry, right? Young people get hungry quickly. Old Master Ching snorted. What's wrong with young people being hungry? In the end, he's still not mature enough. As soon as he finished speaking, his stomach growled loudly. It was so loud that it was difficult to ignore it. Everyone. Chapter 111. The empty hall suddenly fell into a dead silence, and the atmosphere instantly became extremely awkward. Just as Su Yushuan was hesitating about whether to break the silence and give the old man a way out, a tempting aroma of rice wafted out from the kitchen. A certain someone's stomach growled again, louder and more hurried than before. Everyone, Grandpa Ching. Do I not care about my reputation? Ahem. In the end, it was Su Yushuan's father who was smart enough to break the silence. He gave Su Yushuan a look and said, Yushuan, go tell Yayan to hurry up. She's been dawdling for so long. If she drags on any longer, it'll be time for supper. Su Yushuan understood and turned to walk to the kitchen. The others did not mention what had just happened. Grandpa Ching, on the other hand, was embarrassed. He snorted coldly, turned his face away awkwardly, and did not say anything else. However, the corner of his eyes that unconsciously glanced at the kitchen betrayed him in the end. Ching Shuqin and the others knew his temperament. They held back their laughter and did not expose him at this time. Su Yushuan had just walked to the kitchen door when he bumped into Su Yiyan, who was walking out with dishes. His eyes lit up immediately. Is everything done? Su Yiyan was also stunned when she saw him. It's done. Why are you here? Isn't it because your dishes are too fragrant? Our cravings have been aroused. Grandpa and the others are also hungry, so I came to ask if it's done. If it's not done well, we'll all starve to death. You're exaggerating. Su Yiyan was amused by him. Okay, I cooked a lot at night, so it took a little longer. There are still a few dishes inside. Before Su Yiyan could finish, he was interrupted. I'll do it. You go out first, and I'll carry the rest. Su Yiyan saw that her brother was overly enthusiastic, so she did not refuse. She took the 2 dishes in her hands and stepped out first. It's time to eat. At Su Yiyan's command, several people immediately put down the newspapers, books, and remote controls in their hands and sat down at the dining table as fast as they could. The way they looked at the food was like a hungry wolf that had not eaten for a few days. This bowl of porridge is specially prepared for Grandpa. The millet nourishes the stomach and the pumpkin detoxifies the toxins. It's good for Grandpa to eat some at night. Su Yiyan took the millet pumpkin porridge from Su Yushuan and pushed it to the old man with a faint smile. Old Master Ching looked at the pumpkin porridge that was unique to him and raised his eyebrows slightly, revealing a hint of pride. It was as if he was saying, Look, in my precious granddaughter's heart, I am indeed the most special one. All of you juniors have to step aside. Ching Shuqin and the others were indeed a little jealous when they heard that. However, the old master was an elder after all, and they did not want to argue with him. The dishes were served one after another. There were 4 dishes, 2 soups, and a sweet soup after dinner. It was a little too little for 6 people. Fortunately, although there were not many dishes, the portions were not small. The few people ate to their heart's content, especially old Master Ching. This tomato is quite delicious. It's sweet and sour. It's very appetizing. Su Yiyan smiled. Tomatoes are rich in vitamins. They can lower blood pressure and fat, and they can prevent cancer and stroke. It's just right for Grandpa's current physique. If Grandpa likes it, eat more. I'll make more for you next time. Chapter 112. When Ching Shuqin heard what the 2 of them said, he agreed. The tomatoes are indeed good, but I prefer this celery tofu. The celery is crispy and fragrant, and the tofu is soft and tender. The texture is very good. Su Yiyan knew what her mother wanted to hear. Her eyes curved slightly, and she readily said, "Tofu can ventilate." "Mom, your digestion hasn't been good recently, so it's just right for you to eat this." Qing Shuqin's eyes lit up, and he nodded in satisfaction. "Then I'll have to eat more." Mr. Su didn't want to be left behind. He added, "I like to eat beef. Usually, Auntie Lee's beef is a little dry. This time, the beef is quite tender, and it has a strange sweetness. It's not greasy at all. That's because she added orange peel. The sweet and sour taste of orange peel can relieve grease. I know that you don't like to eat beef that's too dry, so this beef isn't fried for too long. Most of it is cooked until 60 to 70% done." When Mr. Su heard what his daughter said, a little red heart floated in his heart. Why else would people say that his daughter was a caring little jacket? She even knew that he didn't like to eat beef that was too dry. This attentiveness was enough to move this unyielding and inarticulate family head to the point that he was in a complete mess. Compared to his warm little jacket, this son of his was especially annoying. He despised him and wanted to throw him away. Su Yuxuan, who had been shot while doing nothing, received his father's death glare. He was weak, helpless, and pitiful. He mumbled, "I like fish. I want to eat fish. I want to eat fish." When Qing Shuqin heard what he said, he didn't think much of it. He subconsciously added, "It's pretty good. Eat more to nourish your brain. This is too much. Don't think that I can't tell that you're mocking my brain. I'm a dignified top student. Why should I be humiliated like this? I refuse to accept this." Poor young Master Su. Today was also a day where he was despised by his family. After tasting a few dishes, everyone was about 70% to 80% full. They turned their attention to the 2 pots of soup. Mr. Su loved seafood. When he saw the small pot of abalone and ginseng soup, he didn't think much about it. He picked up the ladle and prepared to drink it. When Su Yiyan looked up, he happened to see this scene. He hurriedly stopped him and said, "Dad, this soup is for Aunt. If you want to drink it from Grandpa's pot." This shout attracted everyone's attention. Qin Shuuru blinked her eyes and her face was also filled with astonishment. "For me?" Qing Shuqin also asked, "This soup, can't we drink it?" "It's fine if you really want to drink it, but don't blame me if you can't help but give birth to a younger brother or sister." "What? This is. The few people present were frightened by Su Yiyan's words. They thought that the soup had some unspeakable effect. Their gazes towards Su Yiyan became thought-provoking. "What are you guys thinking? I'm just nourishing my body." Su Yiyan helplessly rolled his eyes. Strictly speaking, it did have that effect, but Aunt's body is quite weak. She needs to recuperate and recover to normal. As for the 2 of you, your bodies are fine to begin with. If you drink this soup, won't something happen if you overheat? When he said this, the few of them were a little embarrassed, especially Qin Shuuru. Chapter 113. As if she could read Qin Shuuru's mind, Su Yiyan took the initiative to get a bowl of soup for her. She teased, "Aunt, don't worry. I made this especially for you. Uncle isn't here, so I'll be careful not to let you overnourish your body." Qin Shuuru's cheeks burned, but she couldn't help but have a glimmer of hope. Yen, this can really nourish, it's just nourishing your body and improving your body's condition. There's no harm in drinking it, right? Su Yiyan knew what Qin Shuuru wanted to ask. Although the soup was somewhat effective, nothing was absolute. She didn't want to give her hope and disappoint her, so she could only do her best to nourish her body. Qin Shuiru realized that she had lost her composure after asking, but when she heard Su Yiyan's words, she couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. That's right. How could they force an ordinary girl to do something that even the doctors couldn't solve? She was the one who was crazy. The others also knew the knot in her heart, so they didn't know what to say. Su Yiyan saw that Qin Shuiru was disappointed, but she still obediently drank the soup. She heaved a sigh of relief and turned to get soup for the others. This lotus seed and date duck soup is best for reducing internal heat and helping you sleep. Drink a bowl and have a good night's sleep. Especially grandfather, you must have rushed over without much rest today. You must have a good night's sleep. It's best if you can sleep until noon tomorrow. Old Master Cheng was old and didn't sleep much. Usually, he couldn't sleep even if he wanted to. When he heard Su Yiyan's words, he laughed and said, "All right, grandfather will see if I can sleep until noon tomorrow after drinking this soup." After saying that, he picked up the soup and drank a few mouthfuls. The warm soup slid all the way into his stomach and spread to his limbs and bones. It was already a little cold at the end of autumn, so to be able to drink a mouthful of hot soup was definitely enjoyable. After old Master Cheng drank a bowl of soup, he felt his entire body heat up and his mood improve. However, not long after, he seemed to have thought of something. His face darkened and he snorted. "Don't think that just because you cooked such a big table of dishes to please grandfather, I won't care about you and that brat with the family Hua. Then what can we do to appease your anger and accept us?" Su Yiyan used "we" instead of "him." It was clear that he had made up his mind that it had to be him. Old Master Cheng was both angry and curious about this man who could make his granddaughter so devoted to him. "Ask him out tomorrow and we'll talk about it. He said he's going to get married. I haven't even seen his face before. What's going on?" Yes. I'll contact him in a while and have him prepare for your inspection at any time. That's more like it." After dinner, Su Yiyan accompanied Qin Shuiru and Qing Shuqin to drink the white fungus sweet soup. The fruit soaked in the milk was infused with the fragrance of milk, which made it more fragrant and delicious. Coupled with the crisp white fungus, it instantly captured the hearts of the two adults. The men were a little greedy, but they didn't particularly like sweets, and they were really full now. It wasn't good to fight with the girls, so they didn't have much of an opinion. After dinner, Mr. Su and the others still had something to do. Old Master Cheng and Qin Shuiru were also a little tired, so they went upstairs first. Su Yiyan saw that they had left and hurried back to her room. As soon as she closed the door, a familiar notification sounded in her mind. Chapter 114. Su Yiyan suppressed the excitement in her heart and replied excitedly, "Yes. Congratulations to the host for reaching level 3. The upgrade package has been sent to the host's mailbox. Please check it. In addition, the progress bar for snatching the original female protagonist's Goldfinger has been added. Please continue to work hard and strive to obtain the fate of the world as soon as possible to change your destiny. Goldfinger progress bar." Su Yiyan was stunned for a moment. Only then did she realize that there was now a light green progress bar under the store panel that had been used to redeem seeds. And this progress bar was now at 5%. 5% means that I've already snatched more of the Goldfinger that originally belonged to Wen Jingping. Yes. However, she had not seen Wen Jingping in person since her rebirth. Is it because of my live stream? Su Yiyan's eyes flashed slightly. Sure enough, choosing to live stream on the same platform as Wen Jingping was the right choice. Live streams are part of the reason. Only part of the reason. Does that mean there are other reasons? Su Yiyan narrowed her eyes. Could it be because of Hua Xiaofeng? The fate of the male and female protagonists is mutual. If something happens to the male protagonist, the female protagonist will also be affected. The system has detected that the male protagonist's favorability towards the female protagonist has decreased due to his injury. The male protagonist's family's favorability towards the female protagonist is also decreasing. This news surprised Su Yiyan. Hua Xiaofeng had been beaten up by her. Shouldn't Wen Jingping be by his side at this time to increase the favorability of Hua Xiaofeng and his parents? Why did her favorability drop instead? However, speaking of this, although Hua Xiaofeng was badly injured that day, at least he did not hit his head. He should have been sober enough to point out that she was the main culprit. However, after so long, he and his family did not come to her door to ask for an explanation. Su Yiyan did not think that the family was so forgiving that they would not say anything even after being beaten up. The only possibility was that he had been stopped by someone. There was no doubt as to who this person was. Su Yiyan pursed her lips. She wanted to find a way to treat Hua Qinhuan's leg as soon as possible. She couldn't care less about the progress bar. She couldn't wait to open the familiar upgrade gift pack. Su Yiyan stared at the spinning circle and subconsciously held her breath. She was afraid that the thing inside would disappear in the blink of an eye. Finally, there was a burst of light, and the system prompt sounded in his ears. Congratulations, host, for obtaining the Encyclopedia of Acupuncture and Moxibustion. It comes with a complete set of acupuncture needles from ancient Earth. It has been sent to your mailbox. Acupuncture. Su Yiyan exclaimed and immediately opened her mailbox. In the next second, a small white bag appeared in her hand. As soon as it was opened, rows of silver needles of various sizes came into view, causing one to gasp in amazement. At the same time, the system notification sounded again, bringing Su Yiyan another piece of good news. Congratulations, host, for obtaining conviction +8. It has been detected that host's total conviction has reached 20. The auxiliary function of acupuncture and moxibustion is automatically activated. Acupoint structure diagram. Host can use it together with Wang to get twice the result with half the effort. Su Yiyan tightened her grip on the bag. She was in a state of excitement. With this, could she start to treat that person's leg? Su Yiyan, who was overwhelmed by excitement, immediately sent a video call invitation to Hua Qinhuan. Chapter 115. Hua Qinhuan was quite happy to receive Su Yiyan's video call invitation, but when he heard her crying, his face sank. What's wrong? Who bullied you? Then he remembered that Su Yiyan had said that she wanted to go home to see her grandfather before they parted ways. Hua Qinhuan's heart couldn't help but skip a beat. He probed, did your grandfather say something to you? Because of me? No. When Su Yiyan saw that Hua Qinhuan had misunderstood, she hurriedly shook her head. My grandfather isn't as strict as you think. He just said that he wanted to find time to meet you. I'm fine. I'm just a little agitated. Agitated? Su Yiyan opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but suddenly stopped. She took a deep breath and said cheerfully, yes. Although I was mentally prepared before this, I knew that even if they didn't agree to our relationship, they would definitely persist until the end. But when I saw that they understood me unconditionally and supported me, I realized that I didn't care as much as I thought. Especially my grandfather. When I was young, my parents didn't have time to take care of me. Grandfather practically raised me single-handedly. Now that I can get his understanding and support, I feel a lot more relaxed. I'm very happy. Su Yiyan's words weren't false, but Hua Qinhuan still felt that there was something fishy about it. However, he didn't harp on it and insist on getting to the bottom of it. Just like when he learned from Su Yiyan's father that she already knew that he had liked her for many years. Even though he was extremely curious about how Su Yiyan knew this, he still forced himself to remain silent. He didn't want Su Yiyan to think that he was too overbearing, too autocratic, and didn't want to give her any privacy. They're very good to you. It's normal for you to care about what they think. Hua Qinhuan paused. I'm sorry. I've made things difficult for you. What nonsense are you saying? This is my choice. Besides, what's there to make things difficult for? I don't think choosing you is a difficult thing for me. Do you have so little confidence in yourself? Hua Qinhuan stared into Su Yiyan's eyes without saying a word. Su Yiyan, on the other hand, read a lot of things from it. She subconsciously said the words that were hidden in her heart, Qinhuan, if there is a way to cure your leg, do you mind? What? Hua Qinhuan's focus was obviously a little off. He faintly stared at Su Yiyan and said word by word, do you mind my leg being like this? Su Yiyan was stunned. She felt helpless and distressed. I don't mind. No matter what you become, as long as you're still Hua Qinhuan, I don't mind. However, you seem to have misunderstood. What I mean is, if there really is a way to cure your leg, are you willing to try it? Hua Qinhuan clearly saw the expectation in Su Yiyan's eyes. His heart trembled slightly, and he said hoarsely, I'm willing. If possible, who would be willing to be a cripple who even needed to rely on external help to travel? Hearing these 3 words, Su Yiyan's eyes immediately turned red. I will definitely cure you. I will. I promise. Hua Qinhuan was stunned. Then, the corners of his mouth lifted into a gentle arc. He softly replied, okay. Su Yiyan was amused by his attitude of coaxing a child. She said in annoyance and amusement, you don't even know what I'm going to do. Chapter 116. Su Yiyan understood what he was implying. Instead of being comforted, she became angrier. How dare he look down on her? After she cured him, she would definitely take revenge on him for looking down on her and doubting her today. Hua Qinhuan had no idea that his stingy fiancé had already marked him down. He took the initiative to change the topic. You just said that your grandfather wants to see me. Yes, but he didn't say when he wants to see you. Do you have time recently? Hua Qinhuan was about to say that he was free anytime, but he suddenly paused and said apologetically, I have something to deal with tomorrow, but I should be free the day after tomorrow. It's okay, there's no rush for now. You do your thing first. I'll talk to grandfather. Su Yiyan seemed to have thought of something and asked tentatively, are you afraid of injections? Injections? Hua Qinhuan was a little confused. Yes, Su Yiyan tried to gesture with her hand. It's about this long, and it's about this long. Hua Qinhuan was silent for a while after reading it. He said with some difficulty, I'm not afraid. Su Yiyan. Your expression doesn't say that. No, you're a mature man in your 20s, but you're actually like a child. Afraid of injections. Su Yiyan really misunderstood this matter. Hua Qinhuan wasn't afraid of injections, but he was afraid of the needle she was gesturing. It was such a long needle, wouldn't it kill him? So, this was really a beautiful misunderstanding. After hanging up, Su Yiyan's heart calmed down a little. Her eyes flashed as she looked at the newly released Encyclopedia of Acupuncture and the structure of human acupuncture points. Although she really wanted to start treating Hua Qinhuan right away, his leg needed to be accompanied by medicinal cuisine, medicinal baths, acupuncture, and even massage. Before that, she had to earn some favorability points to exchange for various kinds of Chinese medicine seeds, so that it would be convenient for her to use the medicinal cuisine and medicinal baths later. Secondly, it was her first time doing acupuncture. Would such a long and thin needle go astray? Would it hurt or bleed if the needle was crooked? When she thought of this, Su Yiyan did not have the courage to stick the needle into Hu Qinhuan's body. At least, she had to wait until she was familiar with it. But before that, Su Yiyan narrowed his eyes and took out some mature Chinese herbs from the system warehouse. He got up and walked to the old man's room. Old Master Qing had just finished reading and was about to rest when someone knocked on the door. As soon as he opened the door, he saw his granddaughter. His eyes lit up and he smiled. "Why are you here?" "Grandfather, are you going to rest?" "I have something to discuss with you." "What is it?" "About the things we ate tonight." The next morning, when Su Yiyan went downstairs, the old man was already strolling in the courtyard. When she saw Su Yiyan coming down, she snorted unhappily and turned around to water the flowers. The beautiful dahlia became muddy and could drown at any time. Su Yiyan was dumbfounded. She turned to look at her mother and asked curiously, "What's wrong with grandfather? Didn't they have a good discussion last night? Why was he unhappy again after one night?" Qing Shuqin looked at her with condemnation and sighed. "Isn't it because of you? Because of me?" Chapter 117. At first, old Master Qing ignored Dun Dun, but after spending some time with it, his attitude towards it changed completely. Now, he liked to follow it everywhere. Su Yiyan would always bring Dun Dun home during winter and summer vacations. Every time he brought it home, old Master Qing would help him take care of it. Occasionally, when old Master Qing came over to play, he would always take it out for a walk. Yesterday, he must have been so angry that he didn't think about it. Today, when he calmed down, he began to look for the dog, only to find that his beloved dog had been given away. Old Master Qing was angry all morning. He was even more dissatisfied with the Hu family's youngest uncle who stole his granddaughter and his beloved dog. The impression he had worked so hard to build up fell to rock bottom again. Su Yiyan realized that he had accidentally caused Hu Qinhuan trouble again. "Dear, I really didn't do it on purpose." At that time, Hu Qinhuan, who was busy confirming the progress of the plan with a few of his trusted aides, suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. Zhuo Yanbai immediately noticed his strange behavior and asked with concern, "Young master, the wind is strong at the beach. Do you feel cold? Do you want me to bring you a blanket?" "No need." The chill left as quickly as it came, so Hu Qinhuan didn't take it to heart. "Are the flowers ready?" "They're all ready. They're all Miss Sue's favorite flowers, the prettiest ones. In addition, the greenhouse at the old mansion has been changed. I promise that it will all be done before Miss Sue marries here." Yu Zian couldn't help but wipe away his bitter tears. It was as if he had suddenly returned to the fear of being dominated by farming. After all, he had planted all the flowers in the old mansion's garden with his own hands. With his own hands. Hu Qinhuan didn't receive Yu Zian's angry brainwaves. At that moment, he was thinking about the proposal ring that hadn't been made yet, and the proposal plan that was almost ready. Everything was going well. Hu Qinhuan was in a good mood as she plucked off a blue rose and placed it on Dundun's head. The big pink bough was forcefully pushed to the side. As the sea breeze blew, the poor little girl was instantly blown silly by her fluttering pink princess dress. After Su Yiyan figured out why the old man was unhappy, she was about to go and coax the old man, but she was stopped by Qing Shuqin. "Mom." Qing Shuqin held Su Yiyan's hand tightly and said awkwardly, "Yan Yan, Mom has something to tell you." "What is it?" "I don't know where Hu Qihan's family heard the news. They called me and your father this morning and said that they would personally come to apologize." Su Yiyan's eyes turned cold. Without thinking, she asked, "Is it because of grandfather?" Qing Shuqin was shocked. "How did you know?" When the Su family and the Hua family decided to unite by marriage, the Su family's conditions were actually slightly worse than the Hua family's. However, Hua Qihan's family was far more enthusiastic about this marriage than the Su family. The key to this was Qing Shiqin's family. Qing Shiqin's family was originally an aristocratic and scholarly family. Although they weren't as rich as the wealthy businessmen, they were far more sophisticated than ordinary families. This was especially true for Old Master Cheng's generation. Old Master Cheng and Old Madam Cheng were both academicians in the Research Institute and belonged to different departments. Chapter 118. Hua Qihan and his wife had made use of their relationship with Qing Shiqin to set up this marriage. They had taken a liking to the Qing family's connections and Su Yiyan, who was liked by Old Master Cheng and the rest of the Qing family. They had wanted to use Su Yiyan to get close to the Qing family, and from there, get close to the big shots who were on good terms with the Qing family. It was a pity that the couple's plan had failed in the end because of Hua Xiaofeng, that idiot. It was precisely because of the Qing family's powerful connections that Su Yiyan found it hard to believe that the Qing family had suddenly declined in her previous life. Now that she knew that the world she lived in was just a book, and that the protagonists of this book were Hua Xiaofeng and Wen Jingping, Su Yiyan understood. In the face of great luck, no matter how powerful one's connections were, they were no match for the brainless protagonist aura of these two idiots. Su Yiyan had learned about the family Hua's schemes in her previous life, but Qing Shiqin and the others only realized it when they suddenly received a call from Mrs. Hua this morning. It had been a long time since the incident with Hua Xiaofeng. Hua Qihan and his wife had not come to apologize earlier or later. Instead, they had come right after the old master arrived. It was obvious that they had an ulterior motive. Thinking about how the two of them had been so enthusiastic about this marriage, how could they not understand? To think that I still treated her as a sister because of our friendship back when we were students. She's great. She followed her husband and son to scheme against my daughter and my family. Qing Shiqin's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. After her anger subsided, she felt a little relieved. Fortunately, you didn't marry Hua Xiaofeng. Fortunately, Hua Xiaofeng had dropped the ball before they got married. Otherwise, Su Yiyan would have been used as a raft when she got married. With Hua Xiaofeng's character, it was only a matter of time before he had an affair. Perhaps the family Hua couple would help him cover it up. After all, based on their behavior, it was very likely that they would do such a thing. The more Qing Shiqin thought about it, the more frightened he became. He was even more wary of Hua Qinhuan. Family Hua's youngest uncle is also a member of the family Hua. Could it be? No. Before Qing Shiqin could finish, Su Yiyan interrupted her. He won't. That's good, that's good. Qing Shiqin was not against the other party interacting with her family. In her opinion, it was normal for relatives to help each other. She simply hated this kind of approach with a motive. Since Su Yiyan was so certain, she could only choose to believe in her daughter's judgment. No matter what, it was better than her, a fool who had almost let a wolf into the house. They called and said that they wanted to visit. How did you reply to them? How else could I reply? Qing Shiqin snorted coldly. Just say that we appreciate their kindness and don't need to come over. Otherwise, we'll be annoyed when we see them. Su Yiyan laughed. That's very direct. They must be mad, right? So what if they're mad? They've already shed all pretense of cordiality. If they really go mad because of this, I'll immediately ask your brother to buy a truck full of firecrackers and set them off for 3 days and 3 nights to celebrate. I'm afraid that they're too thick-skinned. After they're done being angry, they'll have the cheek to come uninvited. Qing Shiqin's expression changed slightly. Don't say that. It's really possible. No, I'll ask your father to borrow a few hunting dogs from his friend. If they dare to come, I'll let the dogs bite them. I guarantee that they'll regret coming. Chapter 119. Su Yiyan did not want to admit that she was actually looking forward to seeing the couple being chased and bitten by dogs. Unfortunately, plans could not keep up with changes. She had just finished breakfast when a phone call came in. Yiyan, are you free now? Brother Junxing. Su Yiyan was a little surprised. What's the matter? There is something, and it has something to do with Ning Chirue. Ning Chirue. Su Yiyan took a while to remember the small conflict she had with this person in each city. What's wrong with him? Did he go for a checkup? Yes, he went for a checkup yesterday. The results came out and said that there is indeed a problem with his body, and it is not a small problem. Yiyan, you are amazing. It turned out that after Su Yiyan had reminded him of Ning Chirue's identity that day, Xia Junxing had been a little uneasy. After hesitating for a few days, he finally could not help but want to take Ning Chirue to the hospital for a checkup. He did not expect that someone would be one step ahead of him. Ning Chirue's agent was also anxious after that day. In the end, he decided to give Ning Chirue half a day's time and dragged him to the hospital for a full-body checkup. As a result, the checkup found a big problem. Ning Chirue was stunned when he held the test report. For a moment, he even suspected that the hospital had been bribed by Su Yiyan and had colluded with her to deceive him. However, the agent had a sense of realization and fear. He handled the hospitalization procedures for Ning Chirue as quickly as possible. Just as he did not know how to tell the company about this, Ning Chirue's assistant and bodyguard had already told his elder brother, Ning Siyuan, the general manager of the Ning Group. When Ning Siyuan learned that his brother had been diagnosed with a serious illness, he immediately left the mess in the company and rushed to the hospital. He learned the whole story from Ning Chirue's agent and called Xia Junxing. So, he wants to contact me through you and meet me. Xia Junxing thought that Su Yiyan did not want to meet the Qi family, so he quickly said, if you don't want to see him, I will help you turn him down. No need. Su Yiyan stopped Xia Junxing and said with a smile, Ning Chirue is our company's most popular artist. Now that he's sick, as the company's boss, it's not right for me not to visit him. That's right, after she went to the company that day, the company had been transferred to her name. She was now the real boss behind the scenes of this company. Xia Junxing breathed a sigh of relief. Then I'll pick you up now. Yes. When Su Yiyan arrived, Ning Chirue still did not believe that he had kidney disease and was arguing with his elder brother in the ward. Brother, I'm really not sick. Aren't all the hospitals like this now? Even if I'm not sick, they'll still say that I'm sick just to scam money. I know my own body very well. I don't feel any discomfort at all. How could I get such a serious illness? Ning Siyuan shot a disdainful glance at his stupid younger brother. It'll be too late by the time you feel uncomfortable, he said snappily. Chapter 120. Ning Siyuan was so angry that he laughed. You're already so old, yet you're still snitching to mom and dad. No wonder people keep telling me that you're still breastfeeding. Ning Chirue's face darkened. Who said that? I'm going to beat him up. You're so skinny. Save it. It's good enough that you didn't come crying to me after being beaten up. Brother. Are you my real brother or not? Of course I'm your brother. It's because I'm your brother that I can't just stand by and watch you get into trouble. There's no room for discussion. Go home after you're cured, or I'll tell mom and dad now and ask them to come to the hospital to accompany you. You have two choices. Choose. Ning Chirue choked. Although he said that he would tell his parents, he did not dare to tell them about it. What What if this was true? He didn't dare to imagine how sad his parents who loved him would be. Ning Siyuan felt sorry for his brother when he saw him like this. He sighed and said, "Are you too scared, or do you not want to believe the Miss Su who warned you?" "Brother, you know about it." Ning Qiruei was shocked. "So it's the latter. You're hostile to Miss Su. Do you have a grudge against her?" Ning Siyuan frowned. He arranged for the assistant and bodyguard to follow his brother for two reasons. First, to ensure his safety. Second, he was afraid that his brother would get into conflicts with others without knowing it. Before this, he did not hear from the assistant that his brother had any substantial grudge against Miss Su. When Ning Qiruei heard this, he suddenly felt a little guilty. He turned his face away and said, "I just find it strange. She and I only met once. How did she know about me? Could it be that she colluded with the hospital early on?" As soon as Ning Qiruei finished speaking, Ning Siyuan threw a stack of examination reports in front of him. I took your test samples and sent them to several authoritative hospitals for additional tests. The test results are the same. Test samples. Brother, when did you? Do you really think that I'm sure of your illness just based on a report without checking it? If possible, I hope more than anyone else that this is not true. The last bit of hope in his heart was completely shattered. The light in Ning Qiruei's eyes gradually dimmed, and his whole person suddenly became dispirited. Seeing this, Ning Siyuan sighed again. He leaned over and hugged his younger brother, comforting him, "Don't be afraid. I promise that I will get someone to treat you. There are so many doctors in this world. I don't believe that I can't find one who can cure you." Ning Siyuan paused. "Also, I've asked someone to contact Miss Su. She should be here soon. Since she can see the problem with your body at a glance, maybe she has a ready-made way to help you." "What? Did you find someone to contact her?" "She..." Before Ning Qiruei could finish his sentence, he heard a cough coming from outside the ward. Cough, cough, cough. The two brothers were stunned. Ning Siyuan's eyes narrowed dangerously as he scolded coldly, "Who's outside? Come in." The door opened from the outside, revealing Xia Junxing and a certain someone who was grinning obscenely. When Ning Qiruei saw the person's face clearly, he almost jumped out of bed. You. When did you come?" Chapter 121. Su Yiyan did not have a good impression of the eldest son of the Ning family, but he did not have a bad impression of him either. Although this person looked serious, he was actually very fond of his younger brother. In the previous life, after Ning Qiruei's death, he had helped Wen Jingping several times because of his younger brother's last words and his mother's pleas. Even his friends and subordinates suspected that he was treating Wen Jingping differently because he had taken a fancy to her. Later on, Hua Qinhuan asked him this question when they bumped into each other on the road. Su Yiyan was beside Hua Qinhuan at that time and clearly heard him say, she was the only person Qiruei could not let go of before he passed away. If she died, my mother's only hope would be gone. I can't take this risk. I'm even more afraid that I won't be able to face Qiruei when I'm in the afterlife. In short, he was not interested in Wen Jingping at all. It was only because his younger brother did not want his mother to lose her emotional support that he had no choice but to protect this ordinary woman. When Hu Xiaofang and Wen Jingping bit the hand that fed them and tried to take over the Qi family's assets, Ning Siyuan was not oblivious. He tried to resist. However, just like Su Yiyan in the previous life, Hu Xiaofang was not even 1/10 of Ning Siyuan's ability. If the two of them really fought, there was almost no doubt who would win. However, Hu Xiaofang had the halo of a protagonist, so all his talents and abilities had to be put aside. He was just about to make a move on the Ning family when Ning Siyuan met with an accident. Once Ning Siyuan fell, the Ning family quickly fell into chaos. Hua Xiaofeng took advantage of the situation without any effort. They, who were used as stepping stones, were the ones who suffered the most. Thinking of this, Su Yiyan felt pity for the person in front of him. They were in the same boat. Ning Siyuan saw that Su Yiyan had revealed his identity as soon as they met. His eyes flashed, but he did not say anything in the end. On the other hand, when Ning Qiruei heard that Su Yiyan had been standing outside the door for a while, he realized that the person in question had overheard everything he had just said to his brother. He was furious. Why didn't you say anything when you came? Don't you know that eavesdropping on other people's conversations is impolite and immoral? Qiruei. Ning Siyuan scolded Ning Qiruei in disapproval. Ning Qiruei was still a little afraid of his brother, so he shut his mouth in embarrassment. However, his eyes were still glaring angrily at Su Yiyan. He looked like a bloated pufferfish. Su Yiyan was amused by his sullen look of being angry but not daring to speak. Second young Master Qi is right. It is indeed impolite to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. It's just that when we arrived, we happened to hear the two of you talking about me. Moreover, second young master was rather agitated at that time. If we rashly barged in at this time, I'm afraid that it would only worsen the situation. So, we decided to stand guard outside the door. When Su Yiyan said these words, he glanced at Ning Qiruei teasingly, as if to say that it was impolite for them to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. Was it polite for them to talk behind people's backs? Ning Qiruei's face turned red. He opened his mouth to refute, but he found that he could not say anything. Su Yiyan was right. He had indeed lost control of his emotions just now. If Su Yiyan and Ning Qiruei had suddenly appeared at that time, Ning Qiruei would not have been kind to them. He might even have said something hurtful in a fit of anger. Now, although he was still hostile to Su Yiyan, he had to admit that what Su Yiyan said that day was true. Chapter 122. As if sensing the change in the atmosphere in the ward, Ning Siyuan wisely broke the silence and rescued his brother. Ahem. I invited Miss Su over today because of Qiruei's illness. I heard that when Miss Su met Qiruei for the first time, she could tell that there was something wrong with him and reminded him to come for a checkup. That's right. A glint flashed across Ning Siyuan's eyes. How did Miss Su notice that there was something wrong with my brother? I studied Chinese medicine on my own. Chinese medicine is all about looking, listening, questioning, and feeling the pulse. Looking is to determine whether the patient's internal organs are healthy based on his facial features and determine the patient's physical condition. Chinese medicine. Ning Siyuan's confusion was within Su Yiyan's expectations. In their world, after two great transitions, most of the Chinese herbs had gone extinct, not to mention Chinese medicine. It's a bit troublesome to explain. In short, every part of a person's body is interconnected. Once there is an internal problem, it will inevitably surface. Maybe you don't feel any discomfort at first, but in the eyes of an expert, your appearance has already warned you of your physical condition. Ning Siyuan understood most of it. He frowned and asked suspiciously, Miss Su, do you mean that you can tell the internal disease from the external appearance? Yes. Then, Miss Su, can you help me check if there is anything wrong with my body? Su Yiyan knew that he was testing her, and the corners of her lips curled up slightly. She smiled faintly and said, Young Master Ning's breathing is more rapid and long than the average person's. It should be the asthma that came from his mother's womb. As soon as Su Yiyan said that, everyone's expression changed, especially Ning Qiruei. No one knew better than him that his elder brother was born with asthma. Although the disease was not fatal, it could only be alleviated and was difficult to cure. When it flared up occasionally, it was very distressing. Compared to him, Ning Siyuan was much calmer. Although not many people knew about his asthma, it was not a secret. It did not mean anything that Su Yiyan could say. Su Yiyan was also aware of this, so he continued, other than that, your stomach isn't very good either. You should be having frequent stomach pains recently, right? Ning Siyuan narrowed his eyes and finally looked at the person in front of him. Brother, your stomach is really... After this incident, Ning Chirue was really scared. He looked at Su Yiyan pitifully and said anxiously, is my brother's stomach a big problem? Do you need to check it too? Su Yiyan burst into laughter. Ning Chirue was stunned, and his face turned red. A few days ago, Ning Chirue was still questioning her in a strange manner. How long had it been since their positions were completely reversed? Ning Chirue felt his face hurt a little. After Su Yiyan laughed, he didn't make things difficult for him. He said truthfully, it's nothing serious for the time being. It's just a slight case of gastritis. However, since the disease has already occurred, we have no choice but to take it seriously. We have to recuperate for a period of time. Otherwise, if the inflammation worsens, it will be difficult to deal with. Ning Chirue breathed a sigh of relief and turned to look at his eldest brother. Brother, did you hear that? Take good care of your stomach. Don't take your health too lightly. Ning Siyuan was speechless. He was here to persuade his younger brother to take good care of his illness. Why was he being lectured instead? Let's talk about Chirue's condition first. Miss Su, since you can see Chirue's condition at a glance, do you have a way to treat him? Chapter 123. Although she thought so, she did not show it on her face. Young Master Ning, you think too highly of me. Just because I can tell doesn't mean that I know how to treat it. Ning Siyuan looked at Su Yiyan's calm expression and his eyes darkened. Naturally, he would not believe her words so easily. Others may not be able to do it, but it doesn't mean that Miss Su can't do it. Miss Su only met my useless brother once that day, and she was willing to remind him, a stranger she met by chance, to do this checkup. It shows that she is a kind and warm-hearted person. I don't think she can bear to see my brother get sick at such a young age and be involved with the hospital for the rest of his life, right? Putting on such a high hat was indeed a bit of moral kidnapping. Su Yiyan was silent and did not comment. Ning Siyuan continued, and I heard that Miss Su has taken over Dongqing recently. Dongqing spent a lot of effort on Chirue and put in a lot of effort to get him to where he is today. If Chirue can't continue to work because of his illness, Dongqing will have to bear some losses. Su Yiyan was not surprised that Ning Siyuan knew about Dongqing's change of ownership. How could this hidden brother complex know nothing about the company his brother signed with? On the contrary, Ning Chirue seemed to have just learned the news and was thunderstruck. What? She took over Dongqing. Doesn't that mean she became his boss? Su Yiyan looked at his shocked face and wanted to tease him. She smiled and said, that's right. Dongqing was originally my family's business, and it was transferred to my name 2 days ago. So, now you are an artist under me, and I am your boss. Remember to be alert when you meet in the future. Don't be as reckless as before. Otherwise, if you make me unhappy, do you believe that I'll freeze you? Ning Chirue's face turned green and white. He was angry and wrung his hands. Su Yiyan laughed and did not continue to tease him. She turned her attention back to Ning Siyuan. Dongqing has put in a lot of effort and resources to support Ning Chirue. Now that he's sick, he can't repay the company's nurturing. According to the company's contract, this part of the loss should be compensated by the artist. Thinking about it, the Qi family and the Ning family have big businesses, they should be able to afford such a small amount of money, right? Ning Siyuan's eyes turned cold. He had tried in vain to tempt Su Yiyan with benefits, but now he had been checkmated by Su Yiyan. His expression was rather ugly. Just as countless thoughts flashed through Ning Siyuan's mind, from coercion to sincere pleading, and then from pleading to a sky-high reward, Su Yiyan spoke again just as he was imagining the worst-case scenario. However, as President Ning said just now, I'm a kind-hearted and warm-hearted person. I really can't watch someone die in front of me. Even if it's just a small life. Ning Qiruo was speechless. Can you be more shameless? How could anyone boast and praise themselves like this? And what did you mean by that last sentence? He was the young master of the Ning family, but in her eyes, his life was just a small life. Was she looking down on him? Ning Qiruo, who felt that he was being looked down upon, was furious again. Xia Junxing, who had followed Su Yiyan closely and had been silently standing behind her, was also stunned by Su Yiyan's actions. He sighed inwardly. Was this little girl's skin so thick? She could really compete with her brother. Chapter 124. Ning Siyuan did not care about that. His emotions were like a roller coaster that went up and down, and he was unsettled. Miss Su, do you mean that he can be cured? Su Yiyan did not comment. She picked up the test results beside the bed and glanced at them. She knew why Ning Siyuan was so anxious. Even with her reminder, Ning Qiruo's kidney disease was still the same as in her previous life. It began to flare up and deteriorate. The deterioration was usually rapid and irreversible. The final conclusion of the test results was that the patient should be hospitalized as soon as possible and cooperate with the doctor to control the disease and prevent it from worsening. However, it was only control. No one could guarantee that he could be cured. The longer the disease was delayed, the more serious it would be and the harder it would be to control it. Ning Siyuan saw the change in Su Yiyan's expression and his heart skipped a beat. He was afraid that something unexpected would happen. Miss Su, I could try, but I have a condition. Miss Su, please tell me. Ning Siyuan's eyes flashed. He thought that Su Yiyan would ask for an exorbitant price, but, during the treatment process, the patient needs to cooperate with me 100%. No matter what treatment plan I come up with, he can't have any objections. In addition, you and your family can't interfere with my treatment process. That's all. That's all. Su Yiyan was too lazy to beat around the bush. I'll try if I can do it. If I can't, then forget it. I won't force you. Wait. Ning Siyuan was decisive. When he saw that Su Yiyan was about to leave, he quickly said, I can agree to your conditions. Brother. Shut up. The patient has no right to speak. Ning Qiruo was speechless. Did he have to be so authoritarian? What was wrong with the patient? The patient was human too. I can agree to all the conditions that Miss Su just mentioned, but Miss Su, you have to let me know first, right? As long as we agree to your conditions, can you guarantee that you can cure my brother? President Ning, you think too highly of me. Even the best doctor in the world can't make such a promise to the patient. Ning Siyuan's face darkened. Are you kidding me? Su Yiyan met his gaze without a trace of fear. I just said I'll try. From her point of view, helping Ning Qiruo was a risky endeavor. She was not foolish enough to boast to Ning Siyuan at this point in time. It would be a strenuous and unrewarding task for her. The two of them stared at each other in silence for a long time. In the end, it was Ning Siyuan who broke the silence. Even if there's no guarantee that I'll be cured, Miss Su must have some expectations in her heart. May I ask how confident Miss Su is? Su Yiyan's eyes flashed and gave a more conservative estimate, 60%. But if your brother cooperates actively and your family doesn't interfere, we can raise it to 80%. If she hadn't activated her second skill, she might not have been so confident. Now that she had activated her second skill, she was much more confident. Ning Siyuan heaved a sigh of relief. To him, this number was already considered very high. It was at least 2 or 3 times higher than the number given by the hospital. Okay, I agree to your request. As long as you can cure my brother, you'll be the benefactor of the Ning and Qi families. Chirue's condition is more urgent. The longer we delay, the more dangerous it will be. When do you think? Chapter 125. The few of them did not even realize where Su Yiyen had taken this out from. They all stared blankly at the acupuncture bag in her hand and asked doubtfully, "This is?" Su Yiyen opened the small bag, and in an instant, a row of shiny thin needles came into view in the room. Ning Chirue suddenly had an ominous feeling in his heart. Xia Junxing could not help but gasp and asked tentatively, "Yiyen, are these needles going to be inserted into Chirue's body? If not him, then who? Is there anyone else in this room who needs treatment?" After Su Yiyen finished speaking, she seemed to have thought of something and looked at Xia Junxing and Ning Siyuan. "If you two want to be treated with me, I can also insert a few needles into your bodies." As soon as she finished speaking, Xia Junxing and Ning Siyuan took a few steps back to distance themselves from Su Yiyen. No need. Our bodies are still considered healthy, and we will take care of ourselves in the future. You'd better treat Chirue first. Don't waste your talents on us. Ning Siyuan also chimed in, "He's right. Brother." Ning Chirue did not expect that his brother, who had been so worried about his illness not long ago, would use him as a shield. Ah no, a shield. Ning Siyuan's heart softened when his brother called him that. He frowned slightly and was about to say something when he was interrupted by Su Yiyen. "President Ning, we agreed to listen to my arrangements. Are you going back on your word?" Ning Siyuan swallowed the words that were about to come out of his mouth. Ning Chirue was extremely anxious. "Brother, that's a needle. It's so long and sharp. How painful would it be if it pierced into the body? Moreover, I've never heard of anyone saying that acupuncture can cure illnesses. She's using her position to avenge a personal grudge. Brother, can you bear to see me being bullied by her like this? If you've never heard of it, it only means that you're ignorant. If your illness could be cured using normal methods, your brother wouldn't be in such a hurry to find me. Special conditions require special treatment. We agreed that you'd listen to me. If you don't cooperate, I'm leaving." Ning Chirue choked. Xia Junxing also persuaded, "Chirue, just bear with it. That needle may look scary, but for the sake of your illness and your life, what's a little pain? Do you have the heart to let your parents send you off?" Ning Chirue could not say anything and could only look at his brother for help. Ning Siyuan's heart almost softened, but when he thought of Xia Junxing's words, he steeled his heart and turned his face away to ignore his pleas. Su Yiyen's what she saw. She rolled Ning's treatment. "Get someone to guard the ward, don't let anyone come in and disturb me. As you can see, this needle is really scary. What if someone suddenly rushes in and gets scared when I'm pricking him, and accidentally pricks him?" Ning Chirue almost burst into tears. Was this a threat? It was a threat. Ning Siyuan seemed to have finally realized how scary the person in front of him was. He quietly went out to help. A few minutes later, the required items were delivered. A few bodyguards were guarding the door. Su Yiyen straightened her face. First, she lit some mugwort. The room was filled with the fresh aroma of mugwort to soothe the patient's tense mind. Then, she took out the silver needles to disinfect them. She raised her hand and approached Ning Chirue. Chapter 126. Ning Siyuan and Xia Yanyan were shocked. They looked in the direction of the sound with their pale faces, only to see the inch-long needle hanging in front of his chest. It did not even break his skin. The two of them. It was not just the two of them. Su Yiyan was so shocked that her hand trembled. She took a closer look and realized that she had not stabbed him at all. Su Yiyan frowned. She looked at the spot and was about to stab him when she let out another long scream. The three people in the room. Close, scream, close again, scream again. After a few times, Su Yiyan felt that she was going deaf. Finally, she could not take it anymore and slammed the table beside her. What are you screaming for? The needle didn't even go in. What are you screaming for? Even girls don't scream as loudly as you do when they get injections. You're a big man, aren't you? Are you trying to raise your voice in front of a big boss like me so that you can recommend yourself and develop a side career? When Xia Junxing heard Su Yiyan's words, his eyelids twitched. He reminded her, Yiyan, Chiroe came from a talent show. Singing is his main job, not his side career. Su Yiyan was so angry that she laughed. Main job. No wonder he screamed so loudly. If I didn't know better, I would have thought that he was singing a folk song. After being scolded by Su Yiyan, Ning Chiroe lost all his previous arrogance. He shrunk his neck like a little wife and said fearfully, I'm scared, now you're scared. Weren't you quite capable before? I'm warning you, this is the last time. If I hear you scream again, I'll turn you into a hedgehog and let you scream to your heart's content. Ning Chiroe was so scared that he burped and looked at Su Yiyan with red eyes. This woman was not human at all. She was a demon. Su Yiyan was also troubled by his behavior. Forget it. Both of you come over and help me hold him down. Don't let him move. Ning Siyuan and Xia Junxing wanted to stay as far away from Ning Chiroe as possible, but they were called out. They looked at each other, and although they were reluctant, they still went forward and held Ning Chiroe down. Ning Chiroe wanted to cry but had no tears. He felt like he was a fish on a chopping board, and Su Yiyan was the murderer with a kitchen knife who was about to cut him into pieces. When Su Yiyan saw that he finally stopped making a fuss, she breathed a sigh of relief. She focused her attention on the acupuncture point where she was about to insert the needle, and probed forward slightly. When Ning Chiroe saw the tip of the needle approaching, he opened his mouth to scream, but his eldest brother covered his mouth first. He could only watch as Su Yiyan pierced the needle into his own flesh. It wasn't painful, but there was a strange feeling that made his hair stand on end. Ning Siyuan and the other man heaved a huge sigh of relief when they saw that the needle had finally penetrated the skin. Before he could rejoice, he saw a small stream of blood suddenly fly out from the place where the needle pierced. Although it was said to be a small amount, it was actually only 2 or 3 small drops of blood. However, it still brought a great deal of trauma to the people present. The atmosphere in the ward was a little awkward for a moment. Ning Chiroe's face was pale, and he looked miserable as if he was about to die. Su Yiyan also realized that she seemed to have missed the needle by a little. She laughed awkwardly and said, Ahem, I haven't practiced for too long, so I'm a little rusty. It's not a big problem, it's not a big problem. The 3 people in the room were speechless. How was this not a big problem? Chapter 127. After a moment of chaos, Su Yiyan finally managed to insert the needles into the fixed acupuncture points. After that, it was another round of torture. At first, Ning Chiroe was still grumbling and refusing to comply. Later, he realized that he was already isolated and helpless in this matter. No matter how much he struggled, he could not escape from Su Yiyan's clutches. He gave up on himself and closed his eyes. Out of sight, out of mind. After a few accidents, Su Yiyen's needles became more and more stable. In the end, he basically did not feel any pain, and there were no more blunders like at the beginning. The faint aroma of mugwort drifted in the room. It was very calming and sleepy. When Su Yiyen removed the needles from Ning Qirui's back, the guy had already fallen asleep. However, the corners of his eyes were still slightly red, and his expression was innocent with a hint of grievance. He looked like, as if he had been viciously F***ed. It was not wrong to say that he had been F***ed. After all, Su Yiyen had indeed inserted a lot of needles into him. The two onlookers had goosebumps. Ning Siyuan, who had been by the side, saw that Su Yiyen had finished inserting the needles. He anxiously stepped forward and asked in a low voice, "That's it?" "Yes." Su Yiyen put away the needles and sighed softly. "It's the first treatment, so I'm not particularly well prepared. I'll come again in the afternoon the day after tomorrow and perform moxibustion on him again. After that, I'll do it about twice a week." When Ning Siyuan heard that Su Yiyen would perform the same treatment again the day after tomorrow, his face was a little pale. When he heard the second half of the sentence, his expression became slightly better. In addition, after the acupuncture, you have to pay special attention to your diet. You can't drink alcohol and eat some stimulant food. You can eat more protein foods like fish, eggs, milk, and so on. After Su Yiyen finished speaking, he seemed to have thought of something and sighed. "Forget it, you probably don't understand. I'll take care of the diet myself. From today onwards, send someone to my house for 3 meals a day. I don't have time to send it to you every day. Medicinal cuisine. Aren't you curious about how I can treat you? This is my method, acupuncture and moxibustion, supplemented with medicinal cuisine. However, your brother's illness is rather serious. It may take some time. You and your family should be mentally prepared." Ning Siyuan clenched his fists instinctively. As long as his brother could be cured, spending some time was nothing. They could afford to wait, as long as he could recover. "Then I'll leave it to you, Miss Su. Leave your contact details with Miss Su and I'll send someone to pick it up regularly." Ning Siyuan paused. As for the cost of the meal, the corners of Su Yiyen's lips curled up slightly as she teased, "There's no need to pay for the meal. My family also needs to eat, so it's not a big deal to bring him along. However, I hope that President Ning can help me keep an eye on him when the time comes, lest he thinks that I'm trying to poison him with ill intentions. If he throws away all the things that I worked so hard to make, then I really can't do anything." Ning Siyuan felt a little awkward when he heard what she said. He asked tentatively, "May I ask if there's any conflict between Miss Su and Chirue?" "Chirue seems to have feelings for you, Miss Su." Su Yiyen knew what he wanted to ask. Her eyes flickered slightly as she said with a faint smile, "Conflict? Not really. Today is the second time I've met him. The first time was in Dongqing City when I asked him to go for a checkup. Chapter 128. Ning Siyuan thought he had figured out the truth but was interrupted by Su Yiyen with a smile. "That's not entirely true. Isn't it? Your brother's hostility toward me didn't start after I said those words to him, but before. To be more precise, it was when I hadn't even spoken to him yet. Just by hearing Brother Junxing mention my name, he already showed hostility towards me. Brother Junxing can testify to that." Xia Junxing frowned when he heard Su Yiyen mention him. He stepped forward and said, "That's right. I wanted to introduce them to each other at that time, but Chiroe's expression changed when he heard Su Yiyen's name. Miss Su, are you suspecting that someone deliberately sowed discord in front of Chiroe?" Ning Siyuan didn't think they were lying. According to the assistant's description, Su Yiyan and Xia Junxing were not the only people present that day. Ning Qirui's manager was also present. Even if he didn't ask his brother about the situation that day, he could ask his manager. I don't know about that. President Ning, you can ask your brother if you really want to know. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Contact me if there's anything else. Su Yiyan had done everything she could, so Ning Siyuan had no reason to keep her. After a long time, Su Yiyan was a little tired. She sat in the car and let out a long sigh. When she looked up, she saw Xia Junxing's conflicted face. What's the matter? Why are you looking at me like that? Can you really cure Chirui's illness by poking him like that? What else can I do? Could it be that you also think that I'm abusing my power to avenge a personal grudge and take revenge on him? Aren't you? Yes, Su Yiyan admitted readily. Xia Junxing's expression changed slightly. But it's indeed an effective way to save him. Xia Junxing breathed a sigh of relief and asked curiously, is it really effective? Are you afraid that if it's useless, the Ning family and the Qi family will come after me? Xia Junxing was exposed by her and looked embarrassed. Don't worry, I won't do something I'm not sure of. Otherwise, I would have rejected this from the beginning. It's not like there's a hole in my head for causing such trouble for no reason. Since Su Yiyan had already said so much, Xia Junxing believed her for the time being and did not continue this topic. Su Yiyan was left alone. She turned to look out of the car window, lost in thought. Indeed, she wasn't worried that Ning Siyuan would find trouble with her. According to the cautious temperament of the eldest son of the Ning family, after she left, he would definitely ask the hospital to give Ning Qirui a full-body examination again. Facts spoke louder than words. No matter how much she said, it was not as intuitive as the test data. When he saw the results, he would know that what she said was true. At that time, he wouldn't even have enough time to thank him. How could he be so foolish as to personally extinguish his younger brother's only hope? Su Yiyan had thought about it a long time ago. The key to the Ning and Qi families becoming Wen Jingping's allies was Ning Qirui. The only way to break this deadlock was to cure Ning Qirui's illness. In this way, no matter what, she would still be Ning Qirui's savior. Even if Ning Qirui was brainwashed by Wen Jingping and was dead set on her, the Ning and Qi families would not target her in the future because of this kindness. On the other hand, they would still leave some leeway for Wen Jingping, who instigated Ning Qirui to be her enemy. She did not believe that with so many people in the Ning family, everyone was as blind as Ning Qirui. They could not see the true colors of the two people and were at their mercy. Chapter 129. When Su Yiyan returned to the Su family, it was already afternoon. She had just sat down in her room when Hu Qinhuan sent her a video call. Su Yiyan's eyes lit up, and she picked it up immediately. The first thing she saw was a familiar dog's face. Dun Dun first circled the camera a few times, then finally pressed its butt under the camera and used its heart-shaped butt to fill the screen. Su Yiyan was speechless. Showing off its butt in public. How long had it been since they last met? Had this little guy become so flirtatious? Before Su Yiyan could admire her Zai's cute little butt up close, a hand reached over from the side and pulled the little troublemaker aside. Su Yiyan's eyes lit up, and she called out happily, "Qinhuan." Hu Qinhuan could tell that she was in a good mood. His eyes darkened, and he replied softly, "Yes." Dun Dun, who had become yesterday's flower and was thrown aside, was speechless. Every time this happened, it missed its Huahua very much. "Don't you have something to do today? Is it done? Did you eat lunch on time? No matter how busy you are, you have to eat on time." Su Yiyen couldn't help nagging when she saw Hu Chenhuan. At the same time, she felt that the wedding was taking too long. If they could get married earlier, she could stay by his side all the time. She wouldn't have to worry about this and that just after being separated for a short period of time. Hu Chenhuan listened to Su Yiyen's nagging, and the depression in his heart slowly faded away. He responded good-naturedly. "It's done. I eat on time, but the food they make isn't as good as yours. Then I'll make it in the future. I'll get someone to send it to you." Su Yiyen wanted to send it herself, but there were 4 or 5 people at home watching her. If she went to send it every day, she would make Hu Chenhuan hate her. She had already helped him pull some strings with the old master this morning. Cough cough, Hu Chenhuan could also understand this. Her gaze, which was as cold as a knife not long ago, also softened a lot. After the two of them chatted for a while, Hu Chenhuan couldn't help but ask, "Where did you go today?" Su Yiyen was slightly startled and subconsciously answered, "I went to the hospital." "Hospital? You?" "I'm fine. It's just that there's something wrong with an artist in the company. I'm going over to take a look." Su Yiyen paused for a moment. She remembered that she still had to treat Hu Chenhuan later. She gritted her teeth and took the initiative to explain everything that had happened. In the end, he even emphasized the identities of Ning Qiruei and Ning Xiyuan. He repeatedly assured that he had reluctantly decided to save Ning Qiruei because he was worried that his company would be affected if something happened to Ning Qiruei. After finally explaining the whole thing clearly, Su Yiyen subconsciously clenched her hands and anxiously waited for Hu Chenhuan's inquiry. She had thought that Hu Chenhuan would ask her why she suddenly wanted to take over Dongqing City. When did she start to learn these things? How did she learn? Who did she learn from? Why did she learn these things? Over and over again, she prepared a script in her heart for fear that she would accidentally give herself away and it would be difficult to justify herself. Unexpectedly, after listening to her explanation, Hu Chenhuan was silent for a long time and only said one sentence, "You said that you injected him with a few needles. Then did you touch him?" Chapter 130. Hu Chenhuan didn't feel that there was anything wrong with this point. He frowned and said unhappily, "Is this question difficult to answer?" God knew that when he was setting up the proposal place by the sea, he suddenly received a message from his subordinates. When he learned that Su Yiyen had been alone with the 2 young masters of the Ning family in the hospital ward for more than an hour, his face darkened. For a moment, Hu Chenhuan had already thought of how to kill all the men who got close to his fiancée. Then he would take her to a place only he knew and lock her up so that no one could see her. Su Yiyen didn't know that her unintentional action had almost become the fuse that detonated the bomb. She scratched her face awkwardly and avoided his eyes. "It's not really touching. I just touched." After all, she was a beginner. She had to carefully confirm the acupoints on the patient's body before she dared to insert the needle. What if the needle went astray if she didn't press it? She didn't want to experience a certain someone's demonic voice piercing her ears and flooding the Golden Mountain again. "I'm not very proficient in acupuncture. I can't find the acupoints if I don't press it. You don't know that I missed several times when I pricked him at the beginning." He cried miserably with snot and tears. Su Yiyen looked up at Hu Chenhuan and pursed her lips. "If you don't like it, I won't touch him next time. Even if I have to do acupuncture, I'll ask someone to press it for me. Is that okay?" This glance accurately pierced into the softest part of Hu Chenhuan's heart and easily dispersed the haze that shrouded his heart. The person in front of him could always accurately poke his weak spot before he was on the verge of losing control of his emotions and suppress the dark thoughts in his heart. It was true that there was always one thing to conquer another. Hu Chenhuan bent his fingers hard, revealing his pale knuckles, and then slowly loosened them. After repeating this several times, he asked in a hoarse voice, "Don't you think I'm overbearing?" Overbearing? No. Su Yiyen stared into his eyes and said matter-of-factly, "As long as you don't like it, I won't do it. In my heart, nothing is more important than making you happy. Of course, if this is considered bossy, then I like it when you're bossy to me." At that moment, Hu Qinhuan seemed to have heard the most moving words of love in the world. The tips of his ears turned red uncontrollably, and his restless heart calmed down completely. "I'm not unhappy." Su Yiyen blinked and thought to herself, "Who are you trying to fool? When you asked that question just now, the fire in your eyes was about to spurt out. How is it that you're not unhappy?" When Hu Qinhuan met Su Yiyen's gaze, he looked bitter and compromised. "You can continue to treat him, but the condition is that I must be present." This was his bottom line. At that time, Ning Chirue, who was still lying in the hospital and sleeping soundly, suddenly trembled. His face was full of pain, and no one knew what terrible nightmare he had. In Su Yiyen's eyes, Hu Qinhuan's request was nothing at all. "Sure, I'll tell you in advance the next time we go. I'll bring you to see how I stab him." If he saw more now and was mentally prepared, he would not be afraid when he was stabbed in the future. Hu Qinhuan, who was completely unaware of Su Yiyen's sinister intentions, nodded cooperatively. "Okay." Seeing that this extremely dangerous topic was finally over, Su Yiyen breathed a sigh of relief. "You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.